She came home at dawn again. The sky was still bruised with that pale blue that makes everything look colder, even people. I heard the door ease open, soft, cautious, like she hoped I'd be asleep. I wasn't. I'd been awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, letting silence gnaw at the space between us. She stepped inside, her heels dangling from one hand, her perfume different from the one she left with, sweeter, someone else's taste. Her eyes met mine for a split second, a flicker, guilt maybe, or irritation that I was still alive. "What?" she asked, rolling her eyes so hard it looked like a reflex. "You're not my father. I don't need a curfew." I didn't answer immediately. I just watched her drop her shoes, watched her walk past me like I was furniture she'd outgrown. Finally, I said it, quiet, certain. "I know." And she froze for half a breath, not because of the words, but because of the way I said them, calm, detached, rehearsed in my mind for too long. She shrugged, recovering her arrogance, and disappeared into the shower. Water ran, steam filled the hallway. I listened to the sound of her humming, a tune she'd never hummed for me. That morning wasn't the collapse. It was the confirmation. The moment when something inside me stopped pleading and started planning. By the time the sun fully rose, she had no idea that the house she walked into would not be the one she walked into again. Not tomorrow, not ever. The story she told was predictable. My boss needed help with a late project. She said it with a straight face, towel around her hair, as if she didn't smell like cigarette smoke. And he didn't smoke. I didn't argue. I didn't question. I simply nodded, storing every detail the way a surgeon memorizes a procedure before the incision. She thought silence meant ignorance. She forgot silence can mean preparation. For weeks, the signs had been layering like dust. A new laugh she only used on her phone. Texts she turned away from me to read. A sudden obsession with wearing perfume to work. The way she checked her reflection before leaving the house, not for me, but for something or someone waiting out there. But it was the inconsistency of her lies that finally stitched the truth together. She said she hated her boss. Then she said he needed her. Then she said he was married. Then she said he might separate. Every version contradicted the last. People who lie always forget to keep their stories breathing. Me? I inhaled every inconsistency, slowly, deliberately. I began tracking the late nights, her receipts, the shifts in her tone when she said his name, the little smirk she tried to hide when she got a call she had to take outside. And every time she returned home at strange hours, I let her see nothing on my face. Because the moment I confronted her would be the moment she rewired the narrative. Victims always scrambled to paint themselves as martyrs. No, I would wait. Wait until the truth stood naked. Fact, not accusation. Evidence, not emotion. That dawn, when she dismissed me with that careless roll of her eyes, she didn't know it yet, but she had just handed me the final piece. I moved quietly, always quietly. I checked her phone logs when she showered, not the messages, just the patterns, timestamps, frequency, a rhythm of intimacy disguised as professionalism. I traced her location through shared photo metadata she didn't know auto-uploaded to the cloud. A living map of lies. I cross-referenced a few details with public records. His house, his wife's absence, their company's fiscal calendar, no late-night deadlines in sight. Everything aligned too neatly. I wasn't angry. I was sharpened, focused, like stepping into a version of myself that saw every thread and knew exactly where to pull. And while she vanished on her work nights, I took my time preparing the house for its final performance. I changed the locks, filed the papers, moved my documents, shifted the accounts, all without a sound. I didn't break down, didn't explode, didn't accuse. I simply rearranged the chessboard. Because betrayal isn't just about infidelity. It's about underestimating the person who trusted you. And she had underestimated me profoundly. The night before it happened, she left again. Same perfume, same flimsy excuse. She didn't notice that for the first time, I didn't ask what time she'd be back. She didn't notice the calm in my voice. She didn't notice my eyes. People rarely notice when someone stops loving them, but they always notice when the consequences arrive. The evidence came in the form of a security cam clip, a short, silent loop of her entering his house at 11:47 p.m. Not the office, not a restaurant, his house. She stayed until morning. There was no argument inside me anymore, no tug of hope, just a clean, cold line of truth. I saved the clip, sent it to her phone, unsent it before it delivered, not to warn her, just to watch her face later when she noticed the ghost of a notification she couldn't open. The next evening, I stayed home. Lights off, door locked. At midnight, she tried her key. Clink. Clink. Confusion. Then annoyance. Her footsteps shifted. Her breath tightened. She rattled the handle harder. "Hello?" she called. "Why is the door locked?" There was no answer. Just the quiet hallway light and the note I had taped to the door. Simple, centered, printed in calm black ink. Nothing emotional, nothing dramatic, just truth. I watched from my car across the street, engine off, window slightly cracked. She finally saw the note. I could see her eyes widen as she read it. She read it again, and again. Her breathing broke, her hands trembled. She whispered something. Maybe my name, maybe a curse, but her voice didn't carry. The note said, "You were right. I'm not your father, and this isn't your home." Simple, precise, final. Underneath it, a second line. "I know where you spent the night. I know where you've been spending all of them." And at the bottom, "Consider this your curfew." Her knees softened, just for a second. The kind of collapse pride tries and fails to hide. She tried calling me. I let it ring. Again. Again. Every unanswered call pulled another thread out of her world. Not revenge in the loud sense, just reality returned to its rightful owner. Her. I drove away slowly, leaving her framed in the rearview mirror. Small, shaking, finally confronted by the truth she kept outrunning. There was no satisfaction, no victory high, just clarity. Betrayal is a strange thing. It doesn't break you. It chisels you, sharpens you into someone who no longer begs to be chosen. She once said she didn't need a curfew. She was right. What she needed was a consequence. As I turned the corner, the house and her disappeared behind a row of trees. A clean cut, a line drawn. And for the first time in months, maybe years, my mind was quiet. I wasn't leaving her. I was leaving the version of myself who tolerated her. The final sentence settled in my mind like a door clicking shut. Some people don't deserve to lose you loudly. They deserve to come home and find you already gone.